In this video, after inadvertently causing a huge crash at turn 1, I'm going to try and battle back for a top 10 finish here at Bathurst. Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. Now if this is your first time here and are watching all sorts of sim racing related stuff, subscribe now and click the bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. We are back today for round number 2 of the VRS Sprint Championship here on iRacing. Now I didn't qualify as I wanted to start at the back and take advantage of any carnage that may ensue, because we're in the third of 3 splits, but I wasn't actually the only one with that idea, so I'm starting 20th out of 27 runners, and it is exactly where we don't want to be. So as we cross the line to start the race here, everybody is going to inevitably bottleneck up coming into Hell Corner for the first time. So I'm going to move up the inside of the 6 car here, keep your eye up in front as there's contact, and it makes me want to steer right, and then I cause a huge crash. That poor number 6 car is up in the air. Really sorry for that one, Brian, because I think I kind of ruined your race, and within the first corner the car is damaged and the strategy we had been going for has been absolutely ruined. Now the car is damaged, but it's steering straight, which is the main thing, but we're going to find that it loses a lot of time on the straights. Now considering we're here at Bathurst and the only passing point on this track are at the end of long straights, this could well be a long race for us. So the only thing I can rely on really is consistent driving and see how many places we can make up by keeping this bad boy on track and making up where people make mistakes. Now I'm fairly confident that we won't make any mistakes ourselves, and if we do it will be incredibly stupid, as this isn't my first time around Bathurst in iRacing. I actually did the 12-hour race here, the Bathurst 12-hour as it's called, believe it or not, and I did that with Charlie Roscoe, and whilst it was an absolute disaster, I learnt a lot of lessons. So keep your eye on the green Ferrari up ahead. These are one of the lessons I learnt. You've got to get off the brakes whilst turning down into Forest Elbow, as you will end up in that tyre barrier. So we've made up a position here, but we're going to see an example of how much speed we are losing down the back straight here. So we're down the Conrod straight and we are losing so much time to that car up in front, which is also the Merc. That's the car that we're in, so it kind of emphasises how much of a long race this could be. We close right up through the corners, which is a good thing, but I'm going to have to make moves probably down into either this final corner or get a decent run down into turn 1, which I am going to try to do here. So I'm going to pull out of the slipstream, try and brake as late as I can. I go up the inside, make the move stick, hopefully don't cause another pile up like I did last lap, but thankfully we don't, and we have made our first position back up. Well, our second position back up, but the first actual overtaking move, and the recovery is on. Now as you can see on the relative there on the right hand side, the 17 car is about 3 seconds up ahead, so we're going to try and close up on him here and continue to make our trek up to what I hope can be a top 10 finish. That's what we're going to aim for here. I saw a couple of other streams from other YouTubers, and especially in this split, we're in the third split of 3, we can expect quite a few mistakes to be made, so I'm hoping we should be able to make up these positions, and a top 10 would be ideal. Now we tried that last time out of Watkins Glen. For those who haven't seen the video of that, I'm going to put it in the top right in the card there so you can click and watch that. But if we can keep this thing on track, not hit any of the walls or make any mistakes, we should be able to get there up into the top 10. You can see here how much we close up on the guy up in front through the cornery sort of mountain section up and over the top of the mountain, but then we lose so much time down the big long straights here. But that's fine. if we keep it consistent, we should be absolutely fine with no problems. You can hear Crew Chief going on in the background, so I downloaded that app, as many of you commented and suggested I should, so thank you for that. I do take your comments and advice on board, and keep your eye on the left hand side here. We're going to overtake the green Ferrari, who's had a bit of a nightmare there. Not really sure what's happened, but either way we'll take that position. We're now up into 18th place as we start lap number 3 here at Bathurst.
Looks like P6 has gone off in the dipper.
So we're going to rejoin the action one lap ahead here, still following that Ford up in front, and as you heard, the spotter has confirmed that someone has gone off up ahead. So there he is there. We managed to avoid crashing into him and causing ourselves any further damage. That's one thing I really do like about iRacing. There's quite a good level of etiquette when people have crashed and are rejoining the track. So what that guy has done, he's waited for the entire field to go past before he rejoins the track. It's something that people on other games really could learn a thing or two from. So our movement up the pack continues after the issue at turn number 1, and we're going to continue to try and hunt down this Ford up ahead. So lap number 5 now, we're in 15th, which is actually our door number, so equal to our I rating here. Drivers, as anticipated, continue to end up off track. Keep your eye in the runoff area there, the yellow flags are out, and we're going to pass someone who finds themselves in the runoff area at the final corner, Murray's Corner. So we're now up to 14th place as we start lap number 6. Actually, it's P13, as somebody, he must have had an incident or something with someone, because they are now in the pits. They must have got irreparable damage, so they would have gone in the pits to fix that. We find ourselves in 13th position, and the top 10 is looking pretty good right now. Now if we just keep on doing what we're doing, stay on track, drive within our limits, we should get the top 10 we are hoping for. Now we're going to stay on board here as we come up and over the hill here at Bathurst. We've come through the Cufting and up over Quarry Corner, through Reed Park, down back through Frog Hollow and Solman Park. McPhillamy Park is coming up, and down over into the Skyline, which for me is the hardest part of this track. We're going to come down through the S's here, through the Dipper, which is also an incredibly popular place to go if you've got to mind that wall on the left there, and then finally down into Forest Elbow, which finishes that technical bit at Bathurst that takes so many victims. As you can see, I clipped the wall coming out of Forest Elbow, which I just do not need at all, but we seem to be staying with the guy in front. Now the pressure here is going to pay off. Although he's pulling away, it's clear he doesn't like the pressure coming through the technical section here at Bathurst, so he's going to brake really, really early. It sort of catches me off guard a little bit, so I brake early myself, but he's actually going to let us through. So we're going to move up a place now as we come across the line to start lap number 7, and again one step closer to the top 10. So the spotter, there you go, is going to tell me that we're in 11th, one place off where we want to be, and we're about, as you can see from the relative, 8.4 seconds. Well, 8.4, it's going to go 8.5, 8.6 as we come down the straight, as we lose time due to our damaged car, but that is where we want to get after. Hopefully we can close the gap there, although down the straights we might be susceptible to the Ford behind. Maybe it was just a confidence thing while he let us pass, but he might find that we don't pull away as quickly as he hoped, so I anticipate we might field a challenge for him later on. But let's get our head down for now and see what we can do about catching up that 10th place. jumping forward a couple of laps here. As you can see, the Ford is going to try and retake the position. I get out the throttle early, but he's just going to get it all wrong and end up face first in the wall at Griffin's Bend. Now, knowing the damage model on this game, his car is going to be absolutely done. Now, we can't see it as I'm currently in the process of fixing the fuel. Here we go. We're going to see him here with he's 3.3 seconds behind, as you can see. Again, the relative for those who don't know, the white people are on the same lap as you, the blue people are a lap behind, and if someone is coming up to lap you, they will be in red. So bear that in mind for this and future videos. But as you can see here, he's losing a load of time now. 4 seconds behind us now, 4.3, and that move just was not worth it. I anticipate he's going to have to come into the pits to get that fixed, because that looks pretty terminal. If we're pulling away from him down the straight, then he's definitely got a problem. Rejoin the action here. We are now on our in-lap. Now, I am a massive one for learning and not making the same mistakes twice, and last time out we made some pretty big mistakes. We had huge issues last time out in the pits. We 1, overfueled, and 2, changed tyres when we didn't need to. Now, I downloaded Crew Chief to try and fix that, just as you guys suggested, so thank you very much for those suggestions. But unfortunately I couldn't get the voice recognition button to work, so we are stuck back doing it manually, which is great. Just what I need around a track like Bathurst, which is difficult enough as it is without having to flick through, making sure your fuel's right and your tyres aren't going to get changed. So I said to myself, just to get it right, I'm going to go a little further than halfway and then come in. I know normally people say come in probably about 3/4 of the way through the race, but beggars can't be choosers, and I am not in a position to be working those sorts of things out whilst trying to keep this bad boy on track. So that's what I said to myself. I'm going to go a little bit further than halfway and then come in. So I made sure that the tyres were unchecked on the pace lap so they don't get changed. There is no need to do that here, and there's 15 minutes left of this 40 lap race, so there's probably going to be about 8, maybe 9 laps left. So I'm going to fill up to make sure that I have enough to go the distance. Now, as you can see, once again another off track for the pit entry there. Naturally, it's Bathurst, one of the hardest pit lane entries in the world in my opinion, so not too worried about that. Last time also we did a Lewis Hamilton and missed our pit box, so I'm going to make sure that we just wait there and then keep an eye on how long we're in the pits. I'm not going to go for the optional repairs, we're going to soldier on without them, but we're going to fill up and we're going to have a just over 10-second pit stop, which is much better than last time. Quite happy with that, because last time we were in the pits for I think about a minute, which completely ruined us. So we've got to be careful here to come out of the pits and respect the pit lane, because you will get a black flag for that one and it could lead to a drive-through penalty. But just checking the fuel, checking how much time there is left. There's about 15 minutes left of this race. We seem to have enough fuel here, so I am confident we can get to the end without having any issue. We didn't massively overfill either, which is really good. We didn't change the tyres, so that is a success, and we've learnt from last time out, which I'm really happy with. So all we need to worry about now is concentrating on keeping the pace up and bringing this guy home mistake free. Unlike last time out after the pit stops, where I span pretty much straight away.
Yellow flag, watch out.
So there are under 5 minutes left to go now as we rejoin the action here on lap 17. Now, we've been circulating in the 11th for some time, and keep your eye on Mike in the relative there. The time is tumbling down, so I'm guessing it's him who's had the incident in the S's. Now here we go. I expect the yellow flags to be back out. Here they are, and let's just see what has happened here. So Mike's come a cropper coming through Skyline. We get out the throttle slightly there, and I believe that should promote us up into 10th place. Now, one thing I'm really struggling with, and I'm hoping you guys will be able to help me out with, is this relative here on the right hand side. I've just got absolutely no idea how to read it. I know I was explaining it earlier, but sometimes I seem to gain more than one position. Like now, I've only overtaken one car, but you'll see that we're actually going to get promoted 2 positions. So if anyone can let me know here what I'm sort of missing, I will be eternally grateful. The car up ahead here, now I can work this out, is Brian. So he's the guy who we had a bit of a mare in turn number 1, and he was the guy who paid the price. So unfortunately, despite being car number 6, he is at least 1 lap down. So as you can see there, we've gone up to P9. Now, I don't know about you, but I only saw me overtake 1 car, which should mean if we were in P11 last time out, we are now in P10. So maybe I missed someone. But either way, we're up to P9, so we've jumped not only to 10th, which was our aim, but up to 9th. We've got less than 5 minutes, really quite a lot less than 5 minutes now. So let's see if we can catch up to the guy in 8th, which I don't think we'll do on pace alone, but lots of people have been dropping, as we've seen before. Pretty much everybody that we've passed has made some sort of mistake. So let's see if we can get lucky and make up 1 more place and get that 8th place before the race ends. Before we do that, we've got a couple of back markers to pass. So here's us overtaking Brian, and we're going to have another one, which is this red Ferrari up in front. So he's going to get out of the way here too. So 2 back markers and 2 hazards navigated successfully. Now here we are. We've timed the fuel, well, measured the fuel to perfection here. We've got hardly any left. We've got about 1.7 laps of fuel, or 1.6 laps of fuel, and we've got 1 lap to go. But that is not the most interesting point. Now, unbelievably, the person who was in 7th has actually binned it coming to Griffin's Bend here on the final lap. There he is, look, the black Ferrari. I get right out the throttle because I don't want to hit him at all. And we've been elevated to 7th position. Now, considering how appalling the first lap was, this is a pretty miraculous recovery drive. One that I've been really happy with, and probably my favourite race so far in iRacing. So as I say, I had settled for 8th, but we're going to bring home 7th, and we battle back for our best result of the season so far. So as we come across the line here, let's take a look at how that has affected our iRating.
E7. Okay, it's over. Well done, mate. Good finish.
And after that one, it looks like we've actually gone up in both safety and iRating, putting us in good stead for the next race out at Road Atlanta. But for now, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.